This video is brought to you by
Cool green clothing coming straight up out of that DMV. You know what it is. This that Baltimore designer right here. Come on now, come and show some love and show some support. Go online right now, coolgreenclothing.com, and make your purchase. Oh yeah, by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, be sure to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. We all know how hard it is to make a serious relationship work out. When you first meet a person, the mask they wear in the beginning to make you fall in love usually slowly but surely fades away, and they start to reveal their true colors. Most of the time, it might be things we can get over and look past, since we all are human and come with our own problems and baggage. Once you decide to stick around and accept your significant other for who they really are and they accept you, now here comes the big steps. Building a life together. Some choose to move in with each other, share a home, finances, to show we really in this. And usually, the next step, if this stage works out, is marriage. After being with a person for a long time and thinking you found your soulmate, some individuals get to the point they can't imagine themselves or their partner with anybody else. Some think, oh, that's real love. But for us that really know, that's the danger zone. When someone obsesses over you so bad, they lose their selves in the process. The goal is to make the relationship work, but sometimes things just don't go as planned. And two people can easily get on separate pages. You might want to make the relationship work, especially after putting in so many years, but your significant other might be done and ready to see what's out there for the new chapter of their life. It might hurt for a minute, but time heals all. Although some people live for the moment, and to them, to let somebody else walk off in the sunset with a person they feel belongs to them is not even an option. And under certain circumstances, that mindset can become fatal. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing a case of a man who crashed out after his long-term girlfriend decided it was time to move on. Back in 2021, Ricky Robinson was a 30-year-old man navigating life in Baltimore. He wasn't alone though. He was in a serious and committed relationship with a young lady who we will call Rhonda for the sake of this story. The couple had taken things to the next level, and by this time had been living together for about 5 years. Things seemed to be good at first, but somewhere in the mix, the love they had for each other started to fade away, or at least for Rhonda, and the two went their separate ways. After the separation, the young lady decided to reach back in her past and reconnect with an old friend from high school, 25-year-old Terrell Billy. Terrell was stated to be an outgoing young man who loved his family and friends and was definitely loyal and repped the area of the city he hung out at to the fullest, Park Heights and Belvedere. As Rhonda and Terrell got closer, this left Ricky uneasy. After 5 years, a slick younger dude had his girl, and she was moving on fast. Knowing where her peoples lived at, on February 1st, 2021, Ricky decided he would slide by to Rhonda's father's house, where she was living at the time, to talk to her about getting back together. But when he pulled up to find out she was at the spot with Terrell, Ricky instantly got mad. He started fussing and leaning on Rhonda for moving on and having Terrell at her father's house. Not the type to sit back and watch his peoples get handled like that, Terrell tried to de-escalate the situation, telling Ricky, like, yo, chill out. But that rubbed Ricky the wrong way. Now his attention shifted to Terrell. The two men argued back and forth before Terrell got tired of all the rap and said you know where to find me at. Park Heights and Belvedere, especially if it's a problem. After that, Ricky stated, "Oh, all right, bet," and left the scene. The following day, Terrell and Rhonda was together again, but this time outside. They were in his part of town, sitting in a car outside of Chicken Little's juice bar, right on Park Heights off of Belvedere. As the two were vibing and chopping it up, the time was close to 5 p.m. when a masked man crept up to the car, gun in hand, and stated, "Park Heights and Belvedere, right?" The gunman tried to snatch Terrell up. Trying to fight him off, he opened the car door and tried to run away. That's when multiple shots went off, striking the young man before the shooter then ran up and stood over top of Terrell, letting off more shots before fleeing the scene. Witnesses called BPD, who responded to the location to find Terrell suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. Rhonda was in shock, also hurt about what just happened to her friend. She told detectives the day before her ex-boyfriend Ricky had came by her father's house, looking for her unannounced. But she was there with Terrell, who she told police was an old friend from high school she decided to reconnect with after the breakup. She let them know about Ricky going off and fussing her out, and then about the back and forth Ricky and Terrell had when Terrell told him, "You know where to find me at." That's why the young lady stated she knew exactly who did it, even though the shooter had on a ski mask. She recognized the voice when he stated, "Park Heights and Belvedere, right?" letting police know it was Ricky. Police put out a warrant for the young man after Rhonda's statements. He was tracked down and taken in for questioning. He admitted to showing up to Rhonda's father's house to talk to her and having a brief exchange of words with Terrell, but he stated it wasn't that serious. When police asked to view his phone and requested a warrant for his records, Ricky told them, "Go ahead." They would see he wasn't in the area at the time of the hit. After seeing Ricky's phone records, it didn't ping nowhere in the area, and it seemed he was right. But a deeper look led police to notice all of Ricky's calls were forwarded to another number that same day, except for one call at 3:54 in the morning, leading them to think he was trying to cover up his tracks by leaving his cell phone in one location so he couldn't be traced to the hit, with over 20 forwarded calls. But the main thing was Rhonda pointing him out in a lineup as the shooter. With that information, Ricky was taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit. At his court date, Rhonda took the stand and let it be known it was definitely Ricky who did that to Terrell. His lawyer argued it was no DNA evidence the shooter had on a ski mask, so the state was reaching over an argument the man had a day prior. He also pointed out the fact Ricky's phone wasn't in the location at the time of the incident, but the state flipped the whole thing, claiming Ricky tried to outsmart police by leaving his cell phone somewhere else, forwarding all his calls, and wearing a ski mask. Showing surveillance video of the incident, but the one statement that got him was Park Heights and Belvedere, right? Which only Rhonda, Terrell, and him heard the day before. In the end, Ricky was found guilty of slaying Terrell. Not a first-degree hit, but second-degree, which he received 25 years in prison to run consecutive with 15 years for use of a handgun during a violent crime. With this, Ricky received 40 years in total. Rest in peace to Terrell. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. Y'all already know, we cover so many of these stories that the best thing to do is just move on through the pain. And if somebody doesn't want you, believe them. There's nothing you can do to change their mind. Definitely not by taking the life of the next man just for being a man. You getting both of y'all out the way just opens up the door for the next 3 or 4 dudes to come in while you sitting in a cell thinking, what if I could have just told Joe, you got that, bro? Or went out that night and met somebody else. At 30 years old, you are in your prime. One monkey shouldn't stop the show unless you decide to crash out over somebody that was never yours. If the next man can move in and take your place that easy. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Terrell. But yeah, I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all definitely let me know what y'all think in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. This your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.